Well, this is the Audi RSQ8. It shares a lot of its components with the Lamborghini Urus. It comes with a V8, 4-liter V8, which makes about 640 bhp and about 850 meters of Newton torque. You also get an 8-speed automatic, and it's a quattro system, which means that power goes to all four wheels. So in that sense, it's a truly performance-oriented car. 0 to 100 comes up in under 4 seconds, which really makes it as quick as some sports cars out there. All that is good news, but how does it drive? And is it usable as an everyday car? It's a great car for the track, but is it usable as an everyday car to get from work as well as back to home from your office? That's the big question we're going to answer. Pricing of this car is 2.5 crore rupees. Lots of technology, lots of features, and lots of performance and power to talk about. My name is Ashish Masih. If you come to the channel for the first time, please subscribe to it. If you've been here before but haven't subscribed, then please subscribe, because we've got a lot more performance cars, a lot more luxury cars, and a lot more affordable cars coming up for you. Let's get started with the Audi RSQ8. Well, let me quickly show you the boot of this car, and let me open it for you because this is a power tailgate. So let's just open it for you. As you can see, it's a nice and square, but it's also quite deep, so it's a deep boot in that sense. Now this you might be feeling, what is this shelf about, and can you use it manually? No, you can't use it manually. It's a powered one, and it goes automatically down along with this, and goes automatically back up when you open it up. So that's quite a nifty touch. You can drop the seats down from the buttons over here, and you can also bring them back up. So that is something quite good. And you can also use this button over here to lower the suspension of this car and also to raise it up again. So the suspension does travel by a small bit, but it helps you in case you're going on some bad road surfaces. It's not really an off-roader. I mean, you can use it as an off-roader, but most people with this kind of power and this kind of performance will not take it off-roading. But you can raise and lower the suspension by using this button over here. You can also store in a couple of big bags and maybe one small bag over here. So it's not the deepest of boots, because this hatch is curving, and because of that hatch you can't really use it at its maximum, but even then it is a useful boot. Now in terms of the spare wheel, you don't get a spare wheel, but you do get a kit to get your tires sorted in case there's a big puncture. So you do get an air pressure system, and of course some other kit to ensure that your tires are filled again with air. It's a nice boot, decent boot, and a good place to be. Power tailgate, which means that you don't have to use your hands. Well, I'm in the back seat of the RSQ8, and I have to say that the knee room is quite good. Headroom is also more than sufficient. The roof over here has been scooped out a bit. You also get blinds over here to keep your privacy over here inside the car. You can of course use a power button over here to bring them down, and the windows also can be used to bring them down. So it's quite a nice and nifty touch. The windows though don't go all the way down, as you can see over here. They just go halfway down. So this is something bad if you have a lot of pets and you travel with the pets, but usually people keep their windows up, and they also keep their blinds up on cars like this, because they don't really want their privacy to be disturbed. So in that sense they are quite good, and they do ensure that your privacy inside the car is kept. AC vents over here, dual zone climate control at the back, AC vents over here as well, of course 2 different C-type ports, and of course a 12-volt charger as well. Seats themselves are quite good in terms of comfort. There is a huge tunnel in the middle though, so it's best to keep 2 occupants rather than 3, because you'll have them comfortable. And of course you can also pull out the armrest, use the bottle holders or the can holders over here, and of course use this to keep a Diet Coke can, fold it away and sit here like the boss, because this really is a very good car to be sitting in the back. The ride quality, though, as I said before, is slightly on the firmer side, so you might feel some of the jolts, but in general the seat comfort is good, the seat scope is decent, and few occupants will sit at the back over here, because most of you will want to drive the car, but in case you want to sit here, it's a good place to be. I'll give it a decent score of 8 out of 10. Well, so I'm inside the cabin now of the RSQ8, because you need to see the interiors as well. I will not call them disappointing, but they're not as dramatic as one would expect them, because this is, remember, a performance car. It's really meant for performance, so the interior should have been a little more dramatic. You get very nice interiors in terms of quality. The layout is very simple, very easy to understand. Completely digital infotainment system, completely digital gauges here. The touchscreens here, 2 of them, one for the AC controls and the other of course for the infotainment. You also get different driving modes, cool front seats as well as heated front seats, 4 different climate control zones, multiple airbags, of course EBD is also part of the kit, and ABS is also part of the kit, and of course it's a quattro car, so you get power to the wheels goes in different ways. And of course when the computer notices that if something is slipping, some wheel are slipping, it sends power to that wheel. You also get a very dynamic display here for the driver, so you can check out what the power figure is, what kind of power is the car using or torque it's using, and you can of course change it by pressing the button over here to change the view. There's also G meter for the dynamics to tell you how much G forces are hitting the car, and of course you also get a big sunroof over here. And apart from that, you also get nice red stitching on these leather seats, soft Alcantara over here for the wrap on the steering wheel with red stitching, and of course soft materials on the door pads as well, automatic headlamps, rain sensing wipers and the works. And of course you also get some driver assistance features like lane departure warning, lane keep assistance, stuff like that. So you do get some of those features as well. Overall, it's a very nice place to be, very comfortable, very posh, very upmarket, but just misses out on that overall sense of being inside a performance car. There should have been some red stitching on top as well, and maybe they should have just modified the layout or maybe given something else over here. Audi knows what they're doing, but I'm just saying, because we are spending money on a car which is a sports car, they should have given something else. I'll give this car's cabin a decent score of 8.5 out of 10 because the quality is good, the comfort is good, the features are good, but I just think it should have been a little more dramatic, because this one is very similar to the 8, it's very similar to some other cars in the range, and doesn't feel as special as an RS version should. In fact, when you start off, you might say, is there any thunder and is there clouds cover all around? Because that is exactly what you feel the first time you start up this car, because there's lots of noise, lots of banging, lots of thunderous sounds. The exhaust note is unbelievable. And of course, if you want it to become a little less, if you want it to become easy for everybody else on the road, you can put it onto efficiency mode by using the drive select. And once you do that, it tones down quite a bit. But what's the point of having 640 bhp when you can't tell people that you're driving a powerful car? So let's go for a drive on the Audi RSQ8. Now, the good point about this car is that, well, let's not talk about the good points. Let's talk about the negatives first. The negative point about this car is that this car has very massive tires, very big contact patch, 295 section tires, and very thin sidewalls. So what that means is that the absorption power of the tires from the road noise and everything is reduced dramatically. Yes, this car does feel yes, you will feel some of that road noise inside the car, and really it doesn't matter what speed you're doing. You might be doing slow city speeds or maybe fast highway speeds. You can definitely hear the road surfaces and the noise of the tires inside the cabin. So that's something which is a bit of a negative. That said, the other positives include the braking, which is excellent, ceramic brakes all across. The steering wheel is really crisp, very tight, very dynamic. It's a little heavy, even on efficient mode it's quite heavy. And if you also alter the settings, even then it is quite heavy, because that's something that it has to be, because it's a very driver focused car. But it's not something which you'll complain about, because you'll also be enjoying the drive, especially if you take it up the hills. If you're driving up the hills, if you really are hitting those corners, if you really are hitting those bends, then you will really enjoy the steering wheel feedback. Body roll is almost non-existent because the suspension setup is quite firm. Now it's firm, but it's not stiff, and there is a difference in that. If you have a stiff suspension setup, then at the end of the day you start feeling uncomfortable inside this car, but not the case with this one, because this one has, as I said, a firm setup. So yes, some of those badly made rumble strips might just feel a little uncomfortable, but never do they feel like harsh or they're hitting you. But for most of the part, especially for highway speeds, the stability is absolutely brilliant, and you can enjoy the highway speeds. At slow city speeds, some of those rocks and pebbles, or maybe some of those streets which are getting constructed, some of those patched up roads can just filter into the cabin. Some of them, not all of them, but that's the downside of having a firm suspension setup. Paddle shift is behind the steering wheel, really sneakily stick gearbox. When you're driving it in automatic mode, if you're driving in efficiency or comfort mode, you don't even get to know when the gears are shifting. And even if you use the manual settings over here, if you shift gears manually, even then you can't really tell what is happening, because it's a fantastic gearbox, really quick shifting gearbox. It's really quick witted, and you'll just enjoy the driving experience. Visibility wise, the side mirrors are quite nice and large, and you can see the bonnet line. But this one over here, because of the 3 headrests, and if somebody sits and the sloping windscreen at the back, because of all those things, the visibility from the central mirror isn't the best. But who cares about central mirror when you've got so much power and such nice and large chunky mirrors on the sides. You'll just be enjoying the driving experience, and of course, you'll be also enjoying the thunderous note of the exhaust, because if you put it in the RS mode, if you drive this car with RS mode on, then you will really hear that bangs and the whistles and everything from the exhaust. It's just fantastic. I don't have any words to describe it. It really is phenomenal, that exhaust note, and you'll just be enjoying the exhaust note all day long. What you'll also be enjoying is the decent fuel economy if you drive it in efficiency mode. And actually speaking, even in efficiency mode, the engine is very powerful, because remember, it's got 640 bhp, which is quite a lot. So even in efficiency mode, the engine feels very powerful. You just have to press the accelerator pedal like this, and it takes a second, and then your head goes right back in the seat, and the power just comes through. And of course, you can use it in comfort mode. It's still quite good. And of course, the sport mode and the RS mode is really brilliant, in fact. But I would reserve these modes for track only, or for very safe driving conditions, because this car also has the ability to mask its speed very well, because the cabin is really well cocooned from everything else on the outside. So sometimes when you're doing speeds of about 60 or 70 kph, which are sometimes even illegal in the city, you don't get to know. You might be thinking you're doing only 50, and suddenly you'll see a challan come up and an SMS from the transport department telling you that you've done some overspeeding. So you've got to be very careful with your right leg. You've got to flex it very carefully, because the cabin of this car does cocoon you very well. So that's all something there. This car does mask its speed, and of course at faster highway speeds, the cabin feels very well isolated. As I said, it's a brilliant car. It's a track machine. 0 to 100 comes up in 3.6 seconds, which is the official claim, and we're not going to test it today because we don't have the roads, but we did do some brisk acceleration, and I have to say that this car is quite quick. It is very quick, and it does feel legitimately in sports car category. It can destroy a few sports cars. We won't name them, but some of them can easily be destroyed, especially from the same group, the Audi group cars, the VW group cars. Some of the sports cars that they offer can easily be taken to task with the kind of performance that the Audi RS Q8 has to offer. It really is phenomenal, great to look at, great to sit in, great to drive, enjoyable to drive, in a class of its own. To be honest, if you really have this kind of cash, I think that this is a very good package to buy. In fact, I would stick out my head and say it's a better package to buy than the Lamborghini Urus, which also shares a lot of components with this car. And the reason for that, of course, is that Audi's dealership network, its after-sales support, its warranty, its servicing, everything, it's got a better network right across India. If you're lucky enough to have this kind of cash, go ahead and buy it. My scoring would be a very strong 95 out of 100. I've enjoyed driving it today, and I'm sure even you will be enjoying it if you drive it on a daily basis. Thanks guys for watching, and see you soon.